Hello students. Today we are going to learn about multiplication of matrices. We have already learnt about scalar multiplication in the last lecture. Here we are going to see what is the actual multiplication of matrices. Now initially the concept might seem difficult to you, but with practice and by following all the steps given here, you will be able to multiply matrices properly. Product of two matrices. Now two matrices have to be compatible for multiplication. Now what is the meaning of compatibility? Compatibility means that if there are two matrices, say A and B, A into B is possible only if the number of columns of A equals the number of rows of B. What is the meaning of that? Let us take example here. Say in the first matrix given here, the first matrix has only one column, so it's a column matrix. The second matrix has one row, so it's a row matrix. Can we multiply them together? To know this, we have to find the orders of the first and the second matrix. The first matrix has 3 rows and 1 column. So its order is 3 by 1. In the second matrix, there is 1 row and 2 columns. Thus its order is 1 by 2. You find that the number of columns of the first matrix is exactly equal to the number of rows of the second matrix. That is, both of them contain 1 column and 1 row respectively. Thus, we can multiply them together. That means they are compatible for multiplication. Take another example. In these two matrices which are given here, both of them have the same order. That means both of them have 2 rows and 1 column. Thus, their order is 2 by 1 in both the cases. You find here that the columns of the first matrix are not equal to the rows of the second matrix. That means they are not compatible for multiplication. Thus, we cannot multiply them together. So, the main important rule to multiply matrices is that the columns of the first matrix must be equal to the rows of the second matrix. Also, let us see some other important points. Say you are given two numbers, say 2 and 3. If you multiply 2 and 3, 2 into 3 is the same as 3 into 2, isn't it? Similarly, any other numbers can be multiplied in the same way. We say that multiplication is commutative in nature. The order is not important over there. What about matrix multiplication? Is AB equal to BA? Not always. That means the order in multiplication is very important for matrices. You cannot say that A into B will give the same answer as B into A. Thus, we say that matrix multiplication is not commutative. Let us consider two matrices and see how to actually multiply them together. First of all, is AB possible? For that, yes, we consider their orders. A has 2 rows and 2 columns, as you can see, and B has 2 rows and 3 columns. Thus, the order of A is 2 by 2 and the order of B is 2 by 3. That means the number of columns of A equals the number of rows of B. Thus, we can multiply them together. We can also say what is the order of the product. The product is going to be a matrix containing 2 rows and 3 columns. As you can see over here, how to predict the product. Thus, the product has 2 by 3 order. That means we can multiply A and B. Now, suppose we multiply A and B. Let us see what we get as the answer here. Now, as you can see, to multiply A and B, we first write them in the same order, A first, B second. And then what is done is that the first row of the first matrix, the first row of A is multiplied to the first column of B in order to get the element in the 1/1th position in the answer matrix. So see what is done here carefully. The corresponding elements of the first row of A are multiplied with the corresponding elements of the first column of B. That means in the answer matrix, we have 1 into 3 plus, always there is a plus sign in the middle. So 1 into 3 plus 2 into 0. Then the elements in the first row of A are multiplied to the elements in the second column of B in order to get the elements in the 1/2th position of the answer matrix. Thus, 1 into 2 plus 2 into 9. See carefully, observe carefully. Then, the first row of A is multiplied with the third column of B to get the elements in the 1/3th position. Then, the second row of A is multiplied with the first column of B in order to get the elements in the 2/1th position of the answer. Thus, we have 3 into 3 plus 4 into 0. Then, the first matrix, the second row elements are taken and multiplied with the second column elements of the second matrix to get these elements here. Then the same thing is repeated for the third column. The second column of A is multiplied with the third column of B to get these elements. Have you understood the multiplication? Look at the steps once again and check if you have understood the concept here. By doing so, we get the answer this way. That is, in the first place we have 3 plus 0. In the second place 2 plus 18. In the third place minus 1 plus 14. Then in the second row of the answer matrix, we have 9 plus 0, 6 plus 36 and minus 3 plus 28. Thus the answer comes out to be this matrix. As you can see, the answer matrix has the order 2 by 3 as we had predicted earlier. Now A, B was possible. Think in your mind, is BA possible? Now for BA, what do? You first find out the order of B and A. Yes, from here you can guess that B has the order 2 by 3 and A has the order 2 by 2. That means the number of columns of B now is not equal to the number of columns of A. Thus, BA is not possible. AB was possible, we got the answer for AB, but BA is not possible. Now we come to the exercise 2.3. Let us see how to multiply matrices in our sums. In the first question, they have given us a column matrix into a row matrix. So let us see if it is possible to multiply them first. The order of the first matrix is 3 by 1. The order of the second matrix is 1 by 3. That means we can multiply them together. And we get the answer like this, where what has been done? Yes, the element in the first row of the first matrix is multiplied with the element in the first column of the second matrix to get this particular element. Then the element in the first row, that is 3, is multiplied with the element in the second column of the second matrix, that is minus 4. Thus this answer. And the same thing for the third element also to get this answer. Same way, the element in the second row of the first matrix is multiplied with the element in the first column of the second matrix, and so on and so forth is done. As you can observe, this is the way we are getting the answer here. Thus we get the answer, and after doing all the multiplications, we get the final answer as so. So in this way, we can multiply two simple matrices together. Now this second example can be done as an assignment in the same way as you did the first one. By writing their orders, you can predict what is the order of the product and you can proceed to do the multiplication. Believe me, this is an easy example actually. In the second sum, A and B are two matrices together. We have to find out whether AB is equal to BA. So first we find what is AB. So what is done over here? As I told you in the last slide itself, that to multiply two matrices together, the first row of the first matrix is multiplied with the corresponding elements of the first column of the second matrix. Thus, we get the elements in the 1th position, as I have underlined over here. The same thing is then done for the second column of the second matrix and the first row of the first matrix to get these elements over here. And the same thing is done for the third column as well, and so on and so forth, to get all these elements which are obtained over here. Okay, thus we get the answer like so. Like by doing all these multiplications and the corresponding additions, we get the answer for AB. Now what about BA? Does it give us the same answer? We have to multiply B and A. Writing B first, A second, we get this answer actually. Now compare AB and BA. We find that AB is not equal to BA in this particular case. This sum is given as an assignment. You can solve it in the same way as you did the second sum. Next sum, verify that A into BC is equal to AB into C, where A, B and C are three different matrices which are given. We start by doing BC. We find whether B and C are compatible for multiplication by finding their orders. We find that the number of columns of B is equal to the number of rows of C, and thus their multiplication is possible. So when we multiply them together, we get this particular answer. By now, you can carry out this multiplication in your mind by following the steps which I just now told you to get the answer here. Then A into BC is done. The matrix A is multiplied with the matrix BC, and thus we get this answer. Let us keep it in mind and go on to do what is AB. We get a particular matrix AB by multiplying A and B together, and we carry out now AB into C. AB into C gives us this answer. Now comparing A into BC and AB into C, we find that in this particular case, both of them are equal. Now just compare A into BC and AB into C. Has the order of writing changed over here? No. Only the grouping has changed. That means matrix multiplication is associative in nature. We can form different associations in the same order and get the same answer. Next sum, verify that A into B plus C is equal to AB plus AC. Now this can be done easily as an assignment. Sixth one, A and B are two matrices. You have to show that the matrix AB is non-singular. First, as usual, we find out what is AB by multiplying A and B together. The rows of A are multiplied with the columns of B in the corresponding way, and thus we get the answer like this. Now, to find whether the matrix AB is non-singular or singular, what we do is we convert the matrix into a determinant. So we convert AB into mod AB, write it as a determinant and find the answer. We find that we get 6 as the answer. Since we don't get 0 as the answer, we can conclude that the matrix AB is non-singular. Yes, in the previous lecture, we had learned what is a singular and a non-singular matrix, isn't it? So thus we can conclude that AB is non-singular. In the next sum, we have been given A plus I. We have to find the product A plus I into A minus I. Now what is I? I is a unit matrix of order 3. Let us find out A minus I first, because A plus I is given to us. A minus I is equal to A plus I minus 2I. Just do the calculation in your mind and see. Thus, A minus I becomes A plus I, that is a given matrix, minus 2 into the identity matrix of order 3. Now in the second matrix, observe that we have multiplied the identity matrix by 2. Now here a scalar multiplication has been done where all the elements of I have been multiplied by 2, and thus we got the answer of the second matrix. Both the matrices are subtracted by using the usual rules for subtraction, that is by subtracting the corresponding elements, and thus we get the answer for A minus I. Now what is A plus I into A minus I? A plus I into A minus I, we write both the matrices together, do the multiplication in the same way as we have done in the previous thing. And thus we get the answer for A plus I into A minus I. The next sum, A is a given matrix. We have to show that A square minus 4A is a scalar matrix. Now first of all, in this sum, how to find out A square? Now the moment you get A square, don't write A square as 144, 414 and 441. That is just by squaring all the elements given there. No, that is not the correct way. A square is done by doing A into A. A is multiplied with itself in order to get A square. Remember this concept, students, because in the exams, often you make the mistake of squaring all the elements of A to get A square. That gives you the wrong answer. So, A square is A into A. Thus, we get the answer for A into A like this. Now, we also want to find out 4A. 4 into the given matrix A. Just a scalar multiplication is done where 4 is multiplied to all the elements of A and we get the answer for 4A. Now let us find the answer for A square minus 4A. This is simple enough, isn't it? Once we find A square and 4A, we can just subtract them by using the rules for subtraction, by subtracting the corresponding elements together, and we get the particular matrix here. Now what we observe over here? We observe that in the answer matrix, the diagonal elements are equal. That is, the diagonal elements, we have got 5 over here. The diagonal elements are equal and the non-diagonal elements are 0. Such a matrix is a scalar matrix. Thus, A square minus 4A is a scalar matrix. In the ninth sum, A is a given matrix. You have to find K so that A square minus 8A minus Ki is equal to O or 0. Where I is a 2 by 2 unit matrix and O is a null matrix of order 2. Now what is a null matrix? Yes, a null matrix is a matrix in which all its elements are 0. So first A square is found out. A square, remember, it is A into A. Thus we get the answer for A square, that is A into A. Then we get the answer for 8A. A is multiplied by 8. And then we also get the answer for K into I. I is a unit matrix of order 2 and thus we get the answer for Ki. Now to find out A square minus 8A minus Ki, which is given as 0. So in the next step, we subtract the given matrices together, that is A square minus 8A minus Ki is done. And then we get the answer like so. And then this step. Now we find that by the equality of matrices, minus 7 minus K is equal to 0. Thus, K comes out as minus 7. The 10th sum can be done just like the 9th sum. So I leave it to you as an assignment. In the 11th sum, A and B are two matrices given. Two unknowns are there in B, that is A and B. We have to find out the value for A and B. They have given us a condition here, that is A plus B the whole square is equal to A square plus B square. Now, A plus B the whole square is A square plus B square, that is given here. A plus B the whole square means A plus B into A plus B. The RHS remains as it is. Now, when you multiply two brackets together, you already know the rules for multiplication. We get A square, that is A into A square, A into B, AB, then B is multiplied with A plus B. So we get BA plus B square and the RHS remains as it is. Now A square and B square get cancelled from both the sides using the rules of algebra. Thus we get AB plus BA is equal to 0. So when we do AB plus BA, we write the corresponding matrices together. And the RHS is a null matrix of order 2 obviously. In the next step, the matrices are multiplied together. And thus we get the 2 matrices on the LHS. Then again, the next step here. Now, LHS and RHS are equal. So by equality of matrices, we can equate the corresponding elements. That means 2 minus A on the LHS is equal to 0 on the RHS. Thus we write 2 minus A is equal to 0. Similarly, minus 1 minus B also is equal to 0. Now from 2 minus A, we get the answer for A, which is 2 by solving it. And from minus 1 minus B, we get the answer for B. Thus we find the answers for A and B in this case. The 12th sum can be done just like one of the previous sums. So I have left it to you as an assignment to be done. If you find it difficult, you can always contact me. I'll help you with the sum. The 13th sum. Find x and y. If the given condition is 4 into the given matrix minus another given matrix is there, the whole thing is multiplied by a column matrix. On the RHS, we get x and y. So, initially, we multiply 4 with the first matrix. That is, we do scalar multiplication. And we get the answer like this. Then, in the inner brackets, subtraction is done. Thus, we end up with 2 matrices on the left hand side. Then, as you can see, we have multiplied both the matrices together. And we have got the answer. Thus, by equality of matrices, we have x is equal to 13, y is equal to 12. Thus, we get the answer here. The next sum can be done just like the 13th sum. The 14th sum has been left as an assignment for you. In the 15th sum, you can see that a word problem is given. That is, Jay and Ram are two friends. Jay wants to buy 4 pens and 8 notebooks. Ram wants to buy 5 pens and 12 notebooks. The price of 1 pen and 1 notebook was rupees 6 and rupees 10 respectively. Using matrix multiplication, find the amount each one of them requires for buying the pens and notebooks. Now, suppose A is a 2 by 2 matrix containing the pens and notebooks, and B is a column matrix containing the price of 1 pen and 1 notebook. So here A is 4, 8, 5 and 12. Remember, 4 and 8 are the number of pens and notebooks that Jay wants, and 5 and 12 are the number of pens and notebooks that Ram wants. B is the price of each pen and each notebook. We find what is A and A into B to find the total amount which is required by them. Now A into B has been written together. The remaining part of the sum can be completed by you as an assignment. You have to just multiply both the matrices together. Obviously, you will get a column matrix containing the total amount that each one has to spend. So thus, try completing it as an assignment. Students, I know it's a lengthy process learning multiplication, but once you have learnt it, you never forget it. And needless to say, you need this concept for the next group of sums which we are going to learn here. So as a result, keep practicing. Keep safe and healthy. Till we meet in the next lecture. Bye students.